Cirque Dreams. How did you come up with a name like that?
Well, I think the dream part of it is really obvious. I mean, from when I was a young boy, I would daydream and fantasize and just think about things that were just different than what little kids would think of all the time. I'd be staring out the window of a classroom and looking up at the sky and molding clouds into these images that really weren't what they were. So having a theater degree from college in New York City and being an avid lover of Broadway, which has always been my goal, I merged the two together in the early 1990s and started the brand, which is now known as Cirque Dreams.
What kind of a lead time do you need on your performances?
Well, it usually takes anywhere from 1 to 3 years to develop a new concept. And it's sort of part of All About Me, but it's really all about 140 or 150 employees today. When I started the company in '93, there were just 5 of us. Today there's over 140, and they're spread out throughout the world. We're actually in development now, which is in 2009, for shows that are going to premiere in 2011 and 2012. But between now and then, there's a half a dozen shows that are going to open in the middle of that.
Where do you get your inspiration for each one of these? Because each one of these are different. Each show is different.
Yeah, each show is different, and my philosophy has always been, it's not really what you have, but what you do with it. I'm inspired by life. I'm inspired by your piece of jewelry. You know, imagination, there are no boundaries. The word no doesn't exist. Everything is a possibility. I'd like to think that our goal is to always take everyday ordinary things and turn them into something extraordinary, and find everyday ordinary people that can do the unusual with those extraordinary talents.
Tell us about the jungle that you're working on right now.
Cirque Dreams Jungle Fantasy was a vision that I had in 2005. I was looking for a product. None of us ever have a crystal ball. And I was looking for a product at the time that I felt was going to engage audiences of all ages, was going to merge true Broadway theatrics with this whole Cirque genre of acrobatic audacity, fashion, costume, color, and imagination, and put a product out that was going to be accessible and affordable. So why don't you come along and let me take you on this imaginative journey through Cirque Dreams.
I love it. Okay. When you put up casting for someone, what are you looking for?
We rarely ever even have to put ads in for things. We actually get 50, at least maybe 50 video submissions a week for people all over the country that want to perform in our shows.
What's involved with teaching them? I mean, the whole choreograph. I guess it's a kind of a form of teaching because you're really getting them to do what you need to do.
Well, what we do first, actually, after we've selected an act, we see what their style is. Now, then Jill takes over and writes music that fits their style, maybe the speed at which they perform their acts. Once she gets the music written, then that feeds me and inspires me off of how they move. You cannot retrain a person to all of a sudden become a dancer. Oh, yeah. So you create movements around their acrobatic skills.
Oh, it's very exciting, and I can't wait to see this new show that's coming out.
Welcome to our wardrobe department. This is really where magic comes to life.
I can see dreams everywhere.
Dreams everywhere. Over 100 performers have measurements and body forms of their entire being from top to bottom, their shoe sizes, their head sizes. We dye the fabrics here, we sew the fabrics here, we applique them. Everything is handmade. Everything is made from scratch. Their shoes are made here, the headpieces are made here.
A little bit about what your job consists of.
My job mainly consists of taking the idea from Neil Goldberg. He comes up with the idea, and I put it on paper, and then we create the costume from that idea. It can take weeks, it can take days, some of them take a couple of hours.
thanks so much for joining and coming here, because it's really important at this point of our career in Cirque Dreams, and there's so many millions of people around the world that have become fans and that are seeing this, that you can bring your audiences into our studio and see some of the behind the scenes, because there are no secrets to creativity. It's really an interesting phenomenon, and it's a very unusual and special kind of art that brings smiles to people's faces, so it's our pleasure for having you here.